Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today, Mother Pat said, I'm gonna give y'all some bronzers. And y'all, I have a lot of thoughts, okay? I'm so excited for these. And of course, I'll be showing you all of the demos of each one of them. So I have the last 4 bronzers and I have the blush shade. So we'll be demoing all 4 of those products, and I'll be sharing with you just a few comparisons at the end. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And if you are new, I would love for you to click that subscribe button and join the Glam Girl Squad, because we'd love to have you. And let's get right into this video. So you can purchase these at Sephora or from her website. From what I saw, Sephora doesn't have all of the shades of the bronzer, but that was like as of a week ago. So if for some reason you can't find your shade there, then head on over to her website so that you can get the shade that you think will work best for you. But like I said at the beginning of my video, I have shades 4 through 8, I believe. Yes, or 5 through 8, I think 5 through 8. So we've got Desert Glow. Desert Glow is the only bronzer that I have that has actual visible shimmer in it. And I'll get into the details of the bronzers really quick, but I just want to show you what they look like. I love the embellishing of them. I think she did, packaging is really good, and I'm glad that the actual packaging of the cases is actually sturdy. It's just the same packaging as her blush. So then we have the next shade, which we call Bronze Divinity, Burnished Honey. This is the second to the last shade. And then the deepest shade that she has is Bronze Mahogany. And then the last thing that I picked up was her new blush in Divine Rose 3. So let's get into what she says about her blushes. They have a micro velvet powder, blurring and perfecting, buildable, mistake-proof application, demi-matte and pearl finishes, and the formula is vegan. Mother says, introducing the Skin Finish Divine Bronzers. These are the ultimate tool for sculpting and defining radiant beauty with the power of the sun. This is a micro velvet powder bronze. It's luxuriously soft and infused with glimmering luminosity for a sun-kissed glow that lasts all day. Perfect for all skin tones. The colors in the Skin Finish Divine Bronzers are carefully curated to balance red, golden, and neutral tones. Remember that. It offers 1 pearlescent and then 7 demi-matte finishes that can be customized to achieve your desired level of hot, heat, and face framing definition. These bronzers are going to be oil absorbing powders, and the micro refined golden pearls are going to lock your complexion into endlessly divine dimension. Lastly, it's not supposed to leave a cast on the face, and it's never supposed to look cakey on the face either. So one thing that I did really like that Pat McGrath did, especially if you are trying to figure out what shade will be good for you, because looking at the shades, I'm just gonna put it out there, I was like, that's it? Like, shades 1 through 4 look almost identical, and then shades 5 through 8, like, where's the range, Pat? I was kind of concerned. So one thing that she did do is, if you click on each one of the shades, it gives you a definition of what that shade is going to be, but then it also tells you the range of shades that it will suit based on her foundation. So I love, where is it at? Here it is. Her Sublime Perfection Foundation. I wear shade medium 17. It is still like holy grail foundation for me. Like one of my all-time favorites. So Desert Glow is going to pair well with people who wear her foundations shades medium 15 to medium deep 22. I said, okay, Pat, are you sure? Because this looks like a little bit of a finishing powder for me, right? But you gotta wait for the application. All right, now let me quickly go through the other shades so you can get an idea of what they are. And just to let you know, Desert Glow is defined as a tanned bronze with sparkly golden pearls. So this is the only shimmer bronze in the collection. Then we get into Bronze Divinity. Bronze Divinity is going to be described as a terracotta bronze, and this is going to be for people who wear her foundations medium 22, medium deep 22, through medium deep 27. Burnished Honey is described as a warm amber bronze, and it's going to be best suited for people who wear her foundation in medium deep 25 through deep 30. And then lastly, Bronze Mahogany is gonna be a neutral rich bronze. And this is gonna be suited for her foundation shades deep 30 through deep 33. So there is a bronzer for every one of her foundation shades, and based on what she says, that's the one you should go for. But I wasn't sure. You guys know me, I gotta try this stuff out for myself. And I also was like, based on what they look like I said Desert Glow will be a little bit of a finishing powder for me. Like, I just could not see it working as a bronzer. And even when I saw her live, I did get a better feel for them, but I was like, I just need to go ahead and order all 4 of these. So that's what I did. All right, so starting with the application. Okay, Desert Bronze. I said, okay, why did I ever doubt Mother Pat? Because when I put this on the skin, I said, look at that bronzed skin. Like, my skin was bronzed. I was so shocked because I really thought this was not gonna show up. Because typically, and you guys can agree with me on this, when you see bronzers that look like this in the pan, it's gonna look like this on the skin. But it really does have a warmer undertone. Let me go back to the description so I can make sure it really does have a tanned bronze effect to the skin. I would most definitely use this when I want a subtle warm bronze to the skin. And I'm telling you all, at least for the shades that I have, the description or the names that she gave the shades, I feel match perfectly. Desert Glow. I was like, I do look like I'm sitting outside in the sun with just like a nice little kiss of the sun. Like, my skin's not burnt, does not look orange and red, but it really does look beautiful and just bronze. I was so surprised. And what I also liked was when I put this one on the skin, even though I can see shimmer in the bronzer, I didn't feel like it was too shimmery on the skin at all. And as a matter of fact, to me, it just looked like more of a bronzed glow versus like a shimmery bronze, because I don't really be doing the shimmery bronze. I don't mind a bronze glow, but I don't want shimmer specks in my bronzer, okay? I like more neutral toned matte bronzers, but I can definitely appreciate and like warmer bronzers when I want to be warmed and bronzed, especially in the summertime. So I like this one. I would say if you're around my complexion and you like a nice warm bronze, nothing too deep, nothing too much, I just want a nice little glow to the skin, get this one for sure. Now, medium 22, that's what she says this bronze shade will work up to. I could see it because of the warmth that comes from this bronzer. I would say that if you wear her medium 22 foundation shade, I don't think you're gonna get like that deep rich bronze, obviously. But if you want a nice subtle glowy bronze to the skin, I do see that working up to that complexion range. I mean, who am I to tell Mother Pat that her bronzers ain't gonna work for what she says it's gonna work for? I'm not. Okay, then moving on to the next one. This is Bronze Divinity. So this one gave me definitely that richer bronze. So I was like, okay, if I want to look like I've been in the sun all day, this is the bronzer I will wear. If I don't want it to be too deep, but I definitely want a more like pronounced bronze to the skin. So this is a terracotta bronze. I definitely would agree. This one, you can even look at it in the pan, just comparing it to Desert Glow, and see that this one has more of that reddish hue to it. So you're gonna get more of that warmer bronze look from this one here. I really liked how this looked against my complexion, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is what Pat intended. I'm going to assume that she did, because Mother Pat does nothing simple when I feel like she's really tapping into her artistry. I think she made them so that you can really get dimension from your bronzer. If you're somebody who likes to layer your bronzers, or you like to have like a transition of bronze, dimension of your bronzers, I think that's how she created these, if that makes sense. Because she, even when I saw her live, of course they're gonna show, you know, all the possible ways that you can use them. But I'm like, these bronzers really can be layered and add dimension and depth to the cheek if that's what you're going for. And so like just using Desert Glow first and then using Bronze Divinity, I was like, ooh, I can see how both of these together can give you like a nice sculpt and dimension to the cheek. okay? So I'm going through and I'm like, okay, I like what I see. I like what I see. So then going on to this one, Burnished Honey. So that's what we're seeing on this side of my face because I kept it on and I was like, burnished. This one looks like I've been in the sun for like 2 days on vacation. Like I got me a nice bronze to the skin, but what I also like is that I don't feel like I look burned. It definitely gives me a nice warm tone to my complexion. And I really like it. Once again, definitely a warm base bronzer. So these 3 bronzers that I've showed you so far are all warm. Like I don't see someone who has a cooler undertone, especially with this one, maybe really enjoying this tone because it is so warm. However, if you have them and you have a cooler undertone, let us know in the comment section how you are enjoying them. Because remember I told you when I was reading about the bronzers, Pat said this is gonna enhance the complexions that are golden, red, and neutral. And I was like, well, we got one neutral bronzer, and I'm gonna tell y'all, out of all the bronzers, this is my favorite. And when I read the description, I said, absolutely. You know why? Because it's a neutral bronze. And I love neutral bronzers. Like that's just where my heart lies. I can appreciate a warm bronze. Like I love how this side of my face looks, but honey, when I saw this in action on her IG Live, I said if I could only get one bronzer, I'm getting this one. What is this one? Bronze Mahogany. So it's a neutral, rich bronze. And that's what I see on this side of my face. And this is the side of my face that I am loving. So when I saw her use it on her Instagram Live, I forgot the other shades of bronzer she had applied. But basically, she had taken Burnished Honey, or I should say Renny Vasquez did it because he was the makeup artist that was doing the actual application. He had taken this, bronzed the skin, but then he had taken Bronze Mahogany and just like added a touch of like sparkle and sass, and I was like, you have sold me. This shade is stunning. I love how rich it is. It is definitely buildable. And I entered this bronzer with a little bit of caution because I was like, I can tell that this can go very rich very quickly if I am not careful. So when I applied the lighter shades, I used the Sonia G Face Pro brush to apply it to the face, and I think it applied it beautifully, blended it out great, absolutely amazing, right? But when I went in with these deeper shades, because I was like, I don't want to do too much too soon, I went in with this brush. This is the My Kit Co, the 0.24 brush, natural hair as well, and I just lightly applied it. I held the brush at the bottom of the handle so I could have a light application and then build to my liking. And it was perfection. Perfection. So if you had a deeper, richer complexion, I would say go in with maybe a denser brush so you can get more pigment from the product. I wanted to go in with a lighter hand just so I could control the pigmentation so that I wouldn't get too much. But I would say the formula though, these are so blendable, silky, smooth. Honestly, they remind me of her blush formula, and I thought her blush formula was just perfection. No issues with blending them onto the skin, no skipping, no patches. When I applied the bronzers to my face, I had no powder, and I thought about setting my face before applying it, but then I said, these are supposed to be pore blurring, these are supposed to be blendable. I'm gonna use them as a powder. See how they apply on unset skin. I had applied my foundation, but that was it. So I think they applied beautifully and effortlessly. And I would say that if you are new to bronzer, the formula is really easy enough to where I think you could use it and not feel overwhelmed by it. The formula is buildable too. So if you are gonna go in with a shade that is a little deeper than what you normally wear, just go in with a fluffier brush like so. And then you can build to your liking. Or if you're somebody that's like, look, I ain't afraid of it, go in with your denser brush because they do blend really well. So even if you were to add maybe a little too much, you can blend them really nicely into the skin. I am overall so happy that I got these, and I'm glad that I got all 4 of them because I see myself reaching for the warmer tones throughout the summer. So like Burnished Honey and what is this one? Bronze Divinity. I could definitely see myself reaching for these in the summer months. And then in the winter months, your girl is going for a bronze mahogany. I mean, and I will probably also use this in the summer just to add dimension to my bronze. Desert Glow, I'm gonna tell y'all what I wanna do. I wanted to wait until we got here on camera because I was like, if I mess something up, then at least the majority of this face was okay throughout the video. But before I get into what I wanna do, let's talk about the blush. Divine 3 is beautiful. Beautiful and definitely deeper in tone than her other two. So let me whip out Divine Rose 1 and 2 blushes real quick. I should have did this before I started. So we've got Divine Rose. So this is what Divine Rose looks like. And I'll do swatches so you can see them as well. And then here's Divine Rose 2, okay? And then we have Divine Rose 3. So I feel like Divine Rose 3 is a little more muted. It's not as bold as Divine Rose 2, and it's not as cool tone as Divine Rose 1. So I'll swatch them really quick. So we've got Divine Rose 1, 2, and then here is 3. And hopefully you all can see that. So Divine Rose 3 is a coral rose and it has a demi-matte formula. I really like this coral rose tone. Like I said, it's a little less pronounced than Divine Rose 2, but it's going to be definitely more, just a little more warm than Divine Rose 1. I think all 3 shades are beautiful and I'm really glad that I picked up Divine Rose 3. I almost didn't because I was like, do I need it? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I love her blush formula. I still reach for these blushes and they're amazing. So very happy to have that blush. I think it added a nice flush to the cheeks. I think Divine Rose 3, I would say if you have light to, I'm gonna give you all the way to a rich tan complexion. I think Divine Rose 3 would work really nicely for. I think when we get into our deeper, richer complexions, you may not be able to see it as much, but also the formula is buildable. So it really might work for a deeper, richer complexion just based on how you like your blush to be seen. You might have a better chance of using Divine Rose 2 on a deeper, richer complexion just to see it a little bit more. But I think Divine Rose 3 is definitely a beautiful blush shade, and I think if these are the types of shades that you like in your blushes, then I would recommend picking it up. Because formula-wise, it's the same as her blush formula. When I was applying it, I used the Sonia G Cheek Pro brush, and it blended it out beautifully. Okay, so now let's get into some swatches of these bronzers and then a couple comparisons, and then we'll be done. Desert Glow, this is the lightest one that I have. And then we have Bronze Divinity, Burnished Honey, and then Bronze Mahogany, okay? So here are swatches of the 4 shades of bronzer that I have. And as you can see, they, in my opinion, have more depth to them than what they look like in the pan, which I was really happy to see because I know I had some side conversations with a few of you all prior to them being launched, and I was like, I hope they look better than what they look like in these pictures because I'm a little concerned. I am happy to see that when applied to the skin, you can see them come through with more pigmentation. Now, I will say in terms of her shade range, my biggest critique is that she does need to improve the shade range because based on the deeper tones. Now for the lighter tones, let me go back real quick and see if there's another neutral shade of the bronzers because I did not check. So, you know, I want to make sure that I'm speaking accurately and correctly before I make the next statement that I want to make. So the second lightest shade is a neutral bronze shade. And then, yeah, so there's 2 neutrally defined bronzer shades. There's one in the lighter category, and then there's the deepest one. So I am happy for that, but I definitely think that she could add a few more shades in between those shades. So for instance, looking at Bronze Divinity and Burnished Honey, I mean, I didn't put a gap there on purpose, but we could definitely see that these look quite similar. Similar swatched on the skin. So I think that she could definitely add another shade in between here for that for the tan category and make it more neutral. When applied to the cheeks, you can definitely see more warmth from this shade, but they're very similar. Similar enough to where if I'm looking at someone's skin and they were wearing one on one side and one on the other, I don't think I'd be like, oh, that is significantly different on the right side of your face versus the left side. So there is definitely room for expansion. And then like I said too, if you're someone who has maybe a cooler undertone or you just don't like warm bronzers, there's not a lot to choose from. You've got one in the lighter category and then one in the deeper category. And for me, like I said, I love bronze mahogany. Like I saw it in action and I said, this is the one that I want. But not everybody may want a bronzer this deep. So that is my biggest critique for her. And I'm hoping that she already knows that this is the initial launch and that she's already working on expanding her shade ranges. But definitely wanted to call it out there, especially if you're someone who's like, yeah, Chelsea, I don't like warm reddish orangey bronzers. I like them to be really neutral because those are what works best for my skin. Just wanted to put out there basically the two options that you would look for if that's what you really like. However, I would say as someone who does really enjoy and prefer a neutral bronzer, I really like these tones of warmth. Like they're not too orange, they're not too red in my opinion, and they're quite complementary. So this is Burnished Honey on this side, and I think it looks beautiful. So I would say if you're really interested in them, maybe purchase one. Purchase the one that fits the foundation shade range that you might wear in her foundation, or maybe just choose the one that you think you would like based on the bronzers that you might already have, and then start there. And if you're like, wow, I really do like this one, it worked better than I thought, great. If it doesn't, then it's like, hey, I tried it, and now I know, like, I need to stick with what I know I like. Okay, so I wanted to compare Bronze Mahogany, the deepest shade, to the Say Cream Bronzer, and now I'm thinking it's not even gonna be a comparison. So this is the Say Cream Bronzer, and this is the shade Deep Bronze. This is Pat McGrath's Bronze Mahogany. So I'm gonna swatch them, and the Say Cream Bronzer is more warm, so I don't think we're gonna see a comparison there. So here's the Say Cream Bronzer in Deep Bronze, and yeah, it's definitely pulling more warm than Bronze Mahogany. I was just looking at them just off face value, and I was like, I think these might be similar, but they're not. Okay, the Gucci bronzer. That is a warm, radiant type of bronze. I think we might be able to see a comparison between this and, actually I'm gonna put it between these two shades right here. So Bronze Divinity and Burnished Honey. So this is the Gucci bronzer in shade 04. And then this is Bronze Divinity, and this is Burnished Honey. And yeah, I definitely, do these two look more like Desert Glow and Gucci? It's interesting because this Gucci bronzer definitely fits in between, I would say, these three shades right here, actually. So Desert Glow, Bronze Divinity, Gucci, and Burnished Honey. So if you have this shade of Gucci bronzer, you like it against your complexion, now honestly, you can go with really any one of these tones right here and like it against your complexion, because yeah, now looking at it up close, I think the Gucci bronzer looks very close to Bronze Divinity and Desert Glow. So yeah, okay. I mean, you know me, I'm not gonna tell you don't get it, because I think, you know, the formula is amazing. But if you do have the Gucci 04 bronzer, you like it and you're like, I don't need no more, then in terms of tone, you have one that's very similar to the Pat bronzers. I also wanted to look at the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in the shade Tan, because this one, it's this shade right here, I feel is a bit warm. So, and I don't have too many warm bronzers, guys, because most of my bronzers are neutral. In front of Desert Glow. All right, so we've got Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in Tan, Desert Glow by Pat, Bronze Divinity, Gucci, Burnished Honey, Bronze Mahogany, and then Says. So yeah, Charlotte, you can actually see the more neutral tone in it compared to Pat McGrath's right here. Chargirl's, if I could say, aligns a little bit more. Let me swatch that Bronze Mahogany shade a bit better. Why did y'all tell me that swatch was looking raggedy? Let's re-swatch her real quick. Okay, here we go. All right, so I feel like Charlotte's, now tone-wise, you know, it's definitely a different tone, but neutrality-wise, we can see more of that neutral tone coming from Charlotte and with Bronze Divinity. So yeah, those were all of the ones that I thought would be comparable in terms of them being a warm bronze and maybe being similar shades to Pat McGrath's. But I don't have too many other bronzers that I think will even be close to shade-wise to Pat's bronzers, because like I said, a lot of my bronzers tend to be more neutral based. So all in all, I think these are amazing. I know that the Sephora Savings event is about to start. I hadn't tried these bronzers before I made my recommendations video. So my recommendations video hopefully will be up tomorrow if you're watching this today, which is Thursday, April the 13th. But I highly recommend them for the Sephora Savings event because I think the formula of them is just amazing. She did a phenomenal job, and I think these bronzers will work great for people who love themselves a warm bronze, or if you like a neutral bronzer and you can wear either Bronze Mahogany or that lighter shade, which is Nude Honey. I would say pick one of those up, and I think in terms of formula, you're gonna love it. I mean, so beautiful. In terms of the blurring effect, I can definitely see that. I feel like the skin on this side of my face looks nice and smooth. So this is what I wanted to do before I go off screen. And I think I might end up messing myself up a bit, but I just keep having something telling me to do it, so I'm gonna do it. I wanted to take the lightest shade that I have, Desert Glow. So this shade here, I wanted to just whisk it across my cheeks. I just feel like I'm gonna do that and be so happy. So I'm just gonna take this, my Kitco 0.24 brush, because I want something nice and airy, tapping off the excess, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take it and just go, oh yes, honey. That's exactly what I thought it was gonna do. It just added me a nice little sun-kissed glow. But looking up close, see how it did blur out my pores a bit? Kind of smooth out the skin. Come on, mother. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Oh, another thing that I wanted to point out that I think can be done with these bronzers is that if you were to pick up a couple of them, you could use them almost as like a blush as well, depending on, oh, this is looking stunning, y'all. I just can't, I'm putting it all over. You could use these as a blush. Depending on the shades that you get, you could just have yourself a nice like bronzy blush look. So for that, I would either use Desert Glow or I would use Bronze Divinity. Bronze Divinity is right here. So I would go, no, it's not. Now this is something I think Pat can definitely improve upon. Can we get some different packaging or something? Because I can't, between the blushes and now these bronzers, I'm not gonna know what is what. But if I took, let's say, Bronze Mahogany and I use that as my actual bronzer shade, right? Then I could go in with either Desert Glow or Bronze Divinity, use that as a blush and just have a really bronzy, blushy moment. Yo, the way this skin is looking right now. Oh, I love it when I imagine something will work the way I want it to work, but I'm not sure, and then it does. Oh! Okay, so anywho, I think these are amazing. She really did an amazing job with these. Like I said, despite my little critique, but I'm really, really excited to have these. Highly recommend them, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of these bronzers? And if you have them already, tell me your thoughts down below, whether you like them, you don't like them. You know, we want to hear all that down in the comment section below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.